Welcome back, entities. Today we are going to be we're back in InfDev. We're back playing InfDev. We're back playing InfDev And Yapping. So go ahead and grab a snack, or even put me to the other side of the monitor. Grab some water, or whatever drink you like, and you can go ahead and you can go ahead and do homework or whatever you wish while we're doing this. So let's go into single player and let's enter back into our world. So, okay, I'm hoping the transparency of everything hopefully might make it easier for some people to see. I've heard some critiques from one of my friends who said, like, yeah, they want to see the screen a bit easier. So my idea is, what if I just have the transparency so that way I still partially see it, I guess, while still so that way I keep the screen relatively seen and I can partially see it as well. On top of that, wait, where's my well, that's that's most certainly something. That is most certainly something I was not expecting. Well, I am going to, I'm gonna re-grab I'm gonna go re-grab the version that I need real quick, and I'll be right back. That's what I get for updating the launch. I'm not sure if this is what I get for updating the launcher midway through. Alright, welcome back, entities. Today we are going to be we're back in InfDev. We're back playing InfDev. We're back playing InfDev And Yapping. So go ahead and grab a snack, or even put me to the other side of the monitor. Grab some water, or whatever drink you like, and you can go ahead and do homework or whatever you wish while we're doing this. So let's go into single player and let's enter back into our world. So, okay, I'm hoping the transparency of everything hopefully might make it easier for some people to see. I've heard some critiques from one of my friends who said, like, yeah, they want to see the screen a bit easier. So my idea is, what if I just have the transparency so that way I still partially see it, I guess, while still so that way I keep the screen relatively seen and I can partially see it as well. On top of that, wait, where's my well, that's that's most certainly something. That is most certainly something I was not expecting. Well, I am going to, I'm gonna re-grab I'm gonna go re-grab the version that I need real quick, and I'll be right back. That's what I get for updating the launch. I'm not sure if this is what I get for updating the launcher midway through. Well, here to find out, I do not have the original, the one from the other day, somehow. Oh gosh. Problems with InfDev. I'm did we, how much did we go over with the problems of InfDev? How many problems did we go over with InfDev? I know we've gone through quite a few issues. Not only, like, I think it's, like, what caused this to reset? I'm trying to figure out what caused this weird reset issue. It's like, because this entire thing was edited, so, like, I've noticed that, like, it won't go past, like, a weird, threshold. And I just wanna play, like, come on, like, I just want, okay, I think though yet again, I guess we're gonna have to attempt to get that going, I guess, my resources, man. This world is cruel. This world is cruel and unjust. Well, I was about to give off my most controversial Minecraft opinions. But like, I guess we're going to be redigging this hole again. So, digging some parts of these holes while I complain about how much I hate this game. Well, how much I hate and love this game simultaneously. Actually, probably not. That wouldn't be a very fun video. So, let's start off with, okay, actually, I might as well just put out my most controversial opinions anyways. First of all, stop complaining about updates. The entire community needs to stop doing this. Just because, like, yeah, you're like, oh, it's killing hype. Okay. Yeah, but, like, they're free, though. The drops are free. Like, the fuck you mean? Like, what do you mean? The drops are free. Like, it could be like other games, like, that have paid updates. Some games you have to pay for updates. In fact, like, like, why are you complaining about a free update? And number two, Minecraft is 16 years old. In the US, it is legally allowed to drive. Like, you're telling me you're complaining about a 16-year-old game still getting updates to this day? Please stop. Like, it's not laziness, right? It's quite literally, it's a 16-year-old game. Please, just calm your jets, man. Like, the entire community just needs to calm their jets. Like, it's not that deep. Like, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse whenever it comes to, it could be a lot worse. We could just have Minecraft just stop updating randomly. Though, yet again, I know a lot of it is marketing stunts, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the marketplace as much as I do play Bedrock on occasion. Like, I do like a good bit of I started on Bedrock, and I've been on Bedrock for quite a while, but, like, even, like, still, I've never truly, like, a lot of paid content. Also, another thing another thing that I really hate when people hate on is, like, just the sizes of the updates. It's like, they drop a couple of features, right? Like, literally, there are 4 game drops. Calling that lazy is, well, if that's lazy, then, damn, if that's lazy, I must be pretty darn productive then. Then damn, that makes me feel pretty darn productive if that's lazy. Because, like, I barely get anything done in the day. And, like, I write, like, whenever I write, I, not even, like, half a chapter. And it's just, like, come on. It's like, if you're it's like, come on, if you're going to complain about the game and you don't like the size of the updates, like, just put it in the suggestions. Don't just complain. They have a Minecraft suggestions page for a reason. It's called Use It to Use It. And there is a ton of other things for you to use here. You've got all of your, there's literally an entire bug report section where you can also suggest features. Like, quite literally. Like, come on, like, even then, like, we're playing a game that is older than some of the kids that play this game. Like let's take my youngest brother for example. Let's take some of my younger brothers for example, right? Let's take me and my like some of my half brothers were born after Minecraft, way after Minecraft released. Minecraft's a game from 2009 for a non-official release, and then during the official releases in about 2011. Like, it is like what 2026. Like, come on. Like, come on, this game is old. Please, just enjoy the game. Like, it's not that hard. You can enjoy a game. Just enjoy the game. Please. It's not that complicated. And then there's a couple, and then there, this, but yeah, I have a lot of gripe with over half the Minecraft community from this. Because with the amount of complaints I see about it, it's like, okay, but is that oh, it's becoming nighttime. Hold on, I gotta turn up my brightness a bit real quick. Let me turn up my phone brightness. This is going, because, which thankfully, I don't think this affects video quality. I don't think my phone brightness affects video quality, I don't think. Does it? If so, then, so much for keeping my phone on, minimum brightness, for nearly minimum brightness. Because, sometimes, it's not, well, technically not, well, it's, more like a 25% brightness, to be fair, and some of the brightness issues are its own issue. Next up, I think we have I think we should be able to continue. This is such a pain. This took multiple days.
What did?
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Let's just ask something. And I just told them that I need an hour and a half, and okay. So I think what next? Alright, my next really controversial opinion is is regarding modern PvP. End crystals should not be used for PvP. I beg, please. This is the reason why I've never gotten into modern PvP, and why I never will get back into modern PvP. Crystal PvP is one of the worst types of PvP ever to exist, and it's not because I'm bad at it. No. It's legitimate. It's legitimately so easy to counter an end crystal. I'm not good at doing crystal PvP, but I am most certainly good at counteracting it. Which, some of the sources of me doing this, it's quite literally so easy to place a block, man. Like, even when people are like I could quite literally knock you away, and all of it is just requires me to just place a damn block in front of me, and I'll negate literally all the damage. Like, like, it's just like, okay, it's like okay, okay, just like what happened to like the classic PvP. Back whenever having a full set of diamond was considered being one of the strongest people, right? Like, and a lot of things were like actually skill based. It feels like, and not just though to be fair, we're gonna ignore that I was once grandmaster on Call of Duty, but yeah, that's a story for another time. Next thing is with the attribute swapping. Honestly, like, okay, like, yeah, attribute swapping. Like, I've never personally used it, so I don't really have a leg to stand on, like, for this. So, unless, like, you want, like, a person's opinion who doesn't really use attribute swapping, I've tried to. Like, I just, I just don't really understand it fully, and that's fine. And honestly, I can deal with that. I don't really care much about attribute swapping, as it's just like. However, I can see why the community likes it, right? But like, even then, it's kind of broken, to be fair. I think the main issue that I have with attribute swapping is I've never liked it since 1.6. I think that's kind of the reason why I stopped PvPing after like 1.7, I believe. Like, or even just like, or well, which like, and then what really drew the line for me was like I was just tired of PvP, man. Like a lot of and overall just tired of like a lot of things. Like there's a lot of things that have gone to get that I have gone to. Like, next up, which like another thing like that I have regarding game drops is like I'm kind of for like more frequent game drops, right? Which I think it's better in the long run. The community just needs to be a little bit more appreciative of it. Like, and it's mainly just because of Minecraft's age. Like, Minecraft could just not get updates anymore. Like it's such an old game. Like look at games like World of Warcraft as an example. I'm probably gonna get absolutely fucking absolutely torn into by the World of Warcraft community, but like, even though World of Warcraft is extremely old at this point, and it's still getting updates. Old school RuneScape is still getting updates. Like, there's a lot like RuneScape, which is just like, it's just like, we could just like, it's just like, come on, like with the amount, which like I haven't played RuneScape, I might actually go and play RuneScape eventually. Which does sound kind of fun. I'm not planning to play WoW at all. Like, I do not possess the entire time, or mainly like the time or the care to constantly pay for it, right? Because like, one of the main things is I don't have that much of an attention span, even though WoW does seem kind of fun, right? I've watched some people play it. It does look pretty fun, but like, just something that like I will not have the attention span for. Something I don't really have the attention span for. I barely have the attention span for doing what I'm doing right now, and should be able to maybe. Okay, are we? I think we're slowly getting our bearings back to where we were, which is good. But like, even then, this is just such a setback. Which, you know, I just realized something about this, right? With the amount of stuff and with the amount of things that I've. Oh shoot! I need to finish that tower eventually. I wasn't gonna go back to this, but like now that I see the holes like this, it's just like, you know, I could just fix it in another video easily. Maybe it'd probably be better to like go out of my way and move everything, move a bit of this stuff. Though yet again, I'm wondering what caused this, right? So weird. Oh, it's turning daytime. Let's see here. Okay, I'm not sure how many people will disagree with me on this one, but Minecraft is in versions from like I believe after release 1.2, I think Minecraft slowly devolved from a survival game. Like, I know that sounds like a ridiculous statement, but like, I have it. Like, I mean, like, there's plenty of evidence for this too. As well, Minecraft no longer being a survival game. Another thing that I found that I enjoy is that I realized the reason why I burn out on Minecraft so easily, and why, because like I feel like there's a weird expectations that should be met. However, after I just learned to just not give a damn, which is probably not the best way of saying it, but like the only way I can think of saying it at the moment. It's just so much more fun. Like, just doing wacky projects and digging massive holes, like how I was doing there. Like, maybe it would be kind of fun to do like a YouTube-based live stream of just me digging a hole. In Minecraft, it would be fun just me just digging a massive hole. I know some people do like to see digging, like, and some people don't. Like, I might, I can't, we need to finish that tower as well. I keep forgetting to do that. However, currently, I think we had like a weird river. Interesting. My iron armor's gone. What? That's... Well, that's most certainly something. Well, yeah, that's probably something I'll have to deal with later. Let me go ahead and put all of this inside of here, and we're gonna eventually need to make that storage shed as soon as I can. Alright, we're gonna go like that. Place this right here, boom, like that. Let's see here. We should now have pop over into here, place this coal. even though that's not really that valuable of the item, the flint at the moment, I still kind of keep it because I have a hoarding problem in Minecraft in general, which is why I tend to use storage mods and stuff. That's definitely was reverted. Oh, that's lovely. You know, I'm starting to wonder if some parts of my world suddenly began to become read-only rather than or is failing to be written on. What the hell? Dude, I've never actually experienced that on like Android or anything like that, to where files randomly become read-only, or even just like having like read-write problems. Like, and I know it shouldn't have read-write problems either. There's legitimately no reason for a read and write issue. So that's like, the amount of read and write issues shouldn't really be there. Might as well just continue breaking this and just hope that whatever I did, though yet again I've noticed that, like, oh my gosh, that oh wow, this is like, oh my gosh, like this was from like some of this was from like the 23rd, I think. Like, no, was it the 17th? Yeah, this was from, some of this is from the 23rd, and some of this is from the 17th. Like, or like 19th, I think, or the 21st. There's a couple, like, I have lost track of time already. It hasn't even been that long, man. I can't keep losing track of time. But yeah, let's suck. Now, next up, I think next up is just gonna be me just digging this hole deeper. And I wonder if like this has like the, like, I did update the launcher I'm using for, like, I did update the launcher to make it easier for everything, and it's going to, but I'm gonna need to like continue digging deeper and deeper. And after this, after I get done with this, I'm gonna end up going to do the dishes and stuff like that, while I like wait for everything to upload. Sheep, please go. Sheep, shut, please, out of my way. Thank you. So, now we can go ahead and continue mining this. We gotta love. I do love, as much as I love projects like this. These kinds of setbacks in InfDev, like, like, yeah, I know a lot of people just be like, just stop playing InfDev. Me, nah, I like InfDev. Like, I just. Alright. Am I. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and. Alright, so. Let's continue on just punching this grass. Like, this is, like, I'm not, which, like, normally, like, I think, oh yeah, like, I talked to another thing is I talked to a friend I haven't talked to in a while. That's always nice to talk to friends you haven't talked to in a while. It's always great. It's always great to, like, hear them and see that they're good, and see that they're still alive, like, It's always good. I've been playing a bit more Bedrock as well, in my meantime, right? And what the? That's not normal for chunkers. Though yet again, I think I know. Wait, hold on. Is this 16 wide? Hold on, let me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Aha! We found where the chunk borders are. Ooh, okay, that's good. Ooh, hoo, hoo, I'm gonna mark that off. Okay, I need something to mark off the chunk borders. Ooh, hoo, hoo, ooh, that's gonna make everything, ooh, that means it's gonna be easy to align the chunks. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. This is actually a blessing in disguise. Trust me when I say this, it's a blessing in disguise. It's not a curse. This is actually a blessing. This actually makes it way easier, which means we can stop a ton of random BS from happening like that. Tons of random BS like that from happening. Where's my... where's another sheep? Okay. Okay, as an example, let's say if I want to, if I want to go ahead and mark out this chunk, I'm going to head over to here, right, and then we're gonna have this chunk marked like this, and then we're gonna want to, and then, let me up. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Oh my gosh, why is this still, okay, why is this still on the ground? Okay, alright, let's continue going like this. And also playing modern Minecraft, I realized how much I hate really tall grass. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think that should be roughly correct. Which one thing that's kind of funny is, like, that's kind of funny about this, if you think about it, it's all right. We can go like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. All right. Yeah, I know that's 16 blocks, and then we can come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Yep, that marks off literally the entire chunk. That is actually beautiful. It's actually beautiful. Like, this is a good guide. This is going to become one of the best guides in our world. Knowing where chunk borders is, especially in this version, is wonderful. That is gonna make a lot of projects way easier from here on. Now that we have a known chunk boundaries marked off by this wool, marked off by this wool, this is the chunk. This is a 16 by 16 chunk boundary. Knowing this, and it's all because these 4 chunks right over here, this side and this side, partially reset. and those two chunks didn't. And those, because these two are actual chunks. That is amazing. Oh, this is going to be okay. Yeah, this. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. This might have been an actual blessing. Once I realized, like, wait a minute, this looks suspiciously like a chunk boundary. I now know where chunks are. I now know where to find all the chunk boundaries, which is going to make quarry projects and such way better. Like, oh my gosh, you have no idea how good this is. This is going to make my life so much easier. And I am going to use this power that I now have now that I know where all of the chunk borders are. And this is going, yeah, this is, okay. To explain with, like, why knowing chunk boundaries are amazing. One, if you're using stuff like redstone, right? Which means you know whenever something's which means you know, like, which means you know, like, what's in your render distance and what cannot. And what isn't, right? Obviously, in future versions, this is just F3 plus G. So, which means you'll easily just be able to, well, open the F3 menu, no problem, right? We'll just press F3 and G, and that'll show chunk boundaries in modern versions, which will then, and F3 and B usually shows hitboxes. F3 and F3 plus F will show you will give you extra hints about will give you extra info on your items, like durability and such. I cannot play modern without activating that. I always activate that for the sake of my own sanity. But yeah, like, it's a very handy feature. And knowing chunk boundaries is also very good for a lot of things, which means, like, we know which means, like, if something's out of boundaries, there's probably a lot more that some people can tell that where chunk boundaries are also useful. If you have any other use for chunk boundaries, please do say it in the comments. I would absolutely like to hear why you like to see chunk boundaries as well. Which this means, like, if that's a chunk, which means we could easily outline things. Like, the next quarry project could be way easier because then it's not on a chunk border. which is going to be super fun, by the way. Which I think is because, like, then we can actually have the quarries on, like, an actual chunk boundary, but inside of a chunk boundary rather than inside of one or more chunk boundaries, which is going to make digging a whole heck of a lot easier, and which means we can expand this hole, knowing that we now know because then we know exactly how big this entire thing is going, which means which means I, weirdly enough, want to expand it and then educate it and then adjust it based upon this. So which means we can have which means we'll have a 3x3x3 quarry which means we can have a 3x3x3 quarry, which I think will look pretty cool on something like even like a map or a mini map. That reminds me, like, one of the things I've always wanted in Minecraft, like, we have maps, right? Why can't we make an atlas? Like something to, like, put maps in our offhand. Like, we could put a map in our offhand, but, like, why can't we make an atlas, right? Where we can fill it with maps and stuff like that. like, and essentially if we put it in our hot bar, you know, like, it'll act as, like, almost like a mini map, you know, like, and as long as we, like, fill it, you know, like, it would be, and, like, we could just fill it with maps and stuff like that. I think there's a mod that it does something very similar, too, so. It's a mod that does something very similar, and, ooh, yeah. Sunrise! But yeah, like, I think it's Map Atlases that does that. Or no, or is it the one? No, wait. I think it's the Supplementaries Atlas that does that. Which is why I really like supplementaries and stuff like that. I might actually make it. You know, I'm probably gonna add something like that for that. Like, I believe, like, antique like, I think, like, that could work for, which I kind of want to make a mod pack just based around mapping the world, which would be really cool. Another thing, because I know a lot of people who are, because I know that because I know, like, maps are, like, super interesting to a lot of people as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not 10, 11. Oh, 8, let me up. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, which means, like, that means, like, this is the end of this. So, which means this should be the end of this chunk boundary, which means, like, if we pop up through here and then go right here, this is the end of this chunk boundary. I'm pretty sure you catch my drift where I'm going here, right? And because we have these to mark out all of this, because we're going to be using cloth to mark out all of this, it's gonna make it way easier to judge how much we need to dig as well. Now that we know which quarrying has just gotten more advanced now. Quarries are now about to become extremely advanced, right? Because, like, this should be at the end of that chunk boundary, which means we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, then 15, and then 16, which means we should now be able to, well, let's pop up through here, and let's place this. Which we can easily mark off between each and every single chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, so like there is, alright, so 50, so which means, oh yeah, wait, well, this doesn't need a one here. That was misplaced. That was my bad. Alright. Oh, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, which means, like, this should be, so the edge of the chunk. Okay, so we've got a total of, which means, like, as long as we stay up along chunk boundaries, we can outline these, right? Which in the end we can outline this, which will then make digging chunks out easier. Like, entire whole chunk what? Like, everything chunk wise is about to become crazy. Just as which oh, look, it's a plus. That's cool. Like, this is cool. Like, I've never, like, I might actually make this, I might try to keep this if I can, like, attempt, like, a floating, ooh. What if I, like, took this, ripped it out of the ground, like, and, like, took a screenshot of how this looks, ripped out a certain spot, put it up there, and then put it up there. That'd be kind of neat. Make the world even more, like, I mean, like, the world is already really unique as it is, you know, like, I think if we go like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, boom, done. And then we can go boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we should have right here the edge of the chunk boundary. So let me see here. Which, like, if this is the case, knowing the fact that if the chunks were reset properly, which if like this was a proper, like, let's say, like, I think this right here might be the proper chunk boundary. We're gonna have to do some tests, but we should be able to get that. Should be able to do some tests pretty easily. If we can, because we know at least the width of the chunk area that we're trying to, well, outline, we can utilize this to our advantage. Could I just chase around the chunk forever? Absolutely. But will I? No, probably not. Alright. So this gives me the idea of 1, 2, 4, 5. Alright, so this right here is 6 of these. And 8. And then, alright, then 9, then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, we know that this right here is a chunk boundary because this didn't reset. We know that these lay upon a chunk. However, now we just need to chase where exactly this chunk is. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so fun. Okay, we know roughly the chunk boundary. We know this is a we're gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So we know for a fact that this is 16 wide. So along this axis, I'm going to make a symbol, which will then essentially assure me that, like, this right here along this way is in fact a chunk, right? At least is a confirmed chunk, right? Is at least confirmed for where the chunk width is. However, this reminds me, like, could I technically do this with another area and, like, test it, right? Because at that point, right, if I, like, make a giant area, like, if I make this area bigger, right, and it resets again, that means I could narrow down the chunk further, which means I could easily narrow down chunks further, right? Because, like, technically, because if that's the case, I could easily narrow the chunks down. I was like, let's say, like, because, like, if this is a perfect chunk, because, like, let's say, what if this is a perfect chunk border? Actually, wait. I've got an idea. I'm going to package up what I have here real quick. and we can boot. We could. I'm gonna package up this version of the world after this, right? And yeah, I could actually, you know what? The rest of the video is just gonna be me finding out where the chunk is. Okay, please give me your wool. I'm going to be needing a ton of this. Please give me your fur. I need this. Thank you. Oi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shep. Okay, can I please? Aye. Thank you. Next up, so the next bit, alright. And I will see you in a little bit of a later version after I get this done. I'm gonna see you in a later version in a second, and then we can narrow this chunk down to the T really easily, actually. Like, that'll make it really easy to narrow it down. Obviously I'm gonna package this up and make 2 copies, and I'm gonna package this up into 2 versions, right? And I'll see you in a hot second. If this will make it so much more fun. Alright, so the reason I'm here in this, so I am going to be here, right? Okay, so the reason I'm right here in this version is because I'm going to take this, right? I'm going to take these coordinates and I'm going to use these to fully define the chunk. Alright, let me go ahead and head into this area down here. So let's head down into that area real quick too. I'm in beta 1.7, by the way, if for those wondering. Let's pop into over here and let's be in this chunk. Alright, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screenshot this, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a calculator, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take a calculator, and I will be back after I'm done with the calculation of the chunks. Alright, okay, so let me show you. Right here is the chunk boundary after doing the calculation. So 96.15, and then we can then take all of this from here, and then which means this is an entire chunk, so which means this we can mark off as a full chunk. Now let's go ahead and extract our last save back into InfDev with this knowledge. Now that we have this knowledge, we can extract this back into InfDev, because we didn't really have coordinates back then. But this should make it way easier in the end. I'll see you back in InfDev. Alright, so now that we have this same knowledge, let's pop back right into here. Alright, now that we know this, we're gonna start. Alright, so the final bit of this episode is just gonna be me taking this knowledge, and well, I'm going to place this right as this is the chunk border of this, which means this right here and this right here are the chunk borders to this. And then do I have, oh no. Custom controls, why are you no longer working? Maybe, let me try to do that. Save and exit. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now that we've got that, which means we should be able to, punch this cloth here. Now that we have this going, which means we're gonna make pillars all the way up via cobblestone. I thought I had way more cobblestone than that. But yeah, I'm gonna be marking off each and every single one of those, and then we're probably gonna throw this entire thing off. Still gotta finish that tower, but I'm putting it off as well, just because I want to dig a 3x3x3 chunk. Just because I want to dig a 3x3 chunks out for no reason at all, other than just because I can't. Thank you. Now get out of my house, please. Now let's go ahead and grab all of these. It's easier just to like take these and then throw them out of here. Now we can take that and alright. Now we're gonna use this to, well, mark off our main chunk borders in cobblestone, which will make aligning these from now on very, very easy. And then we'll put like the actual border edges by this, because the thing is with cobblestone in this version is alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go like this, and then like this, and then like this. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to end up taking this as well. We're gonna do roughly the same thing, but we're not gonna do it nearly as tall as the other one. Oops, I'm a bit too far off for that one. That's alright. That's alright, that happens. We can easily fix that in a second. I guess then we're gonna go down here and head back up this way. Get these chunk borders down, which means this chunk board, now that those are all outlined, now, and which means, all right, now that that's sheep, bad sheep, get sheep. Oh my gosh, sheep, you're my issue. You're a ton of issues. You're every single issue that you're every single issue I've ever had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then means this one should be right here. The next chunk boundary, which will then connect up to this chunk boundary, which means that this should be the next chunk. This should be the next chunk. Then we're gonna head back down here. We're gonna mark this off from here being 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we should be about this far away. Have about 4 blocks from here that just need to be mined. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just like that, we have just mined away the rest of this chunk, and we can then utilize this to our advantage. So then we should be able to utilize the entire chunk to our advantage here, by making the quarry a bit easier to deal with in case of chunk corruption. And it'll be less of a hassle in the end as well. And we could also narrow down like corrupted chunks too. It'll make then we could like narrow down exact coordinates of corrupted chunks and and then make it easier for like debugging, I guess. Now, which means we can then take this and let's go ahead and actually, it's like this right here, and then we are gonna break this. Alright, so now that that's all taken care of, we're gonna take this right over through here, and then make sure I'm aligned, and then aligned, and then aligned, and then I can go like this, then I can align this chunk with this, which means it should then be weight, and then which means like the chunk over here is which means like this right here is a chunk boundary, and this over here is also a chunk boundary. So these two are chunk boundaries, which makes it way easier to track down all of the chunks. And then we can, which now that we're armed with knowledge of literal gods, we will then take our pickaxes and which then we'll start from here. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, hold on. I think it's like. Alright, let's start from here. So 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, which means this was correctly calculated. So, which now that we know this, which we now know this, which means now we know this proper chunk. Now we know exactly where all chunk stripes are, and we can track down exactly where we could find weird chunk issues as well. This has a ton of uses later as well. And now that we have this, we're gonna pop this up just like this, and prop this up a bit higher. And now we're gonna 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Which means this right here is the exact. Which means like this right here is an exact part of the boundaries of the rest of the chunks around it. Which means we can pop this up by 2, and we can pop back down pretty easily and destroy these. Now that this will make quarrying way less of a hassle, and not only will quarrying be so much less of a hassle, we will I might have to destroy this plus whether I want to or not. And which this will make quarrying way much less of a hassle, and then we can actually figure things out from there. Alright, and then we have so which means oh wait, this right here we can use to, well once this all runs out, which means we'll be able to find the edge of this. That means this right here is the edge chunk. That means this chunk is the edge of the chunk, which is amazing. Ooh, pickaxe broke. Every single time I hear the every single time my pickaxe breaks, I hear it, even though there's no sound because of weird things with the way that Minecraft works. And I think some of these sounds are just like unused, as a lot of these sounds aren't used anymore. So like and I think a lot of, because of like reasons, I think for a lot of reasons, I can't remember exactly all the reasons at the top of my head. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 16, which I could just align it. Let me see if I can align myself with the edge of this, right? And yep, we can go like that. Okay, yep, which means we should be able to align with everything here, maybe. If this is which means that this right here should be a chunk. And let's make sure I'm on the correct axis. Yep, there we go. And then we're gonna pop over here, and I have a feeling that this is the exact area. Yep. I am good at this. Alright, there we go. Now which I use that just to make sure I confirmed exactly where the chunk was. Because, like, it never hurts to have confirmation exactly where something is either. Now I need to break through this tree because it's gonna go anyway, so. Alright, so which means this right here is the next chunk boundary. And which means we're gonna have to, well, mark that off as the next chunk boundary. Now we're going to take this and then 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then, funnily enough, since that was 55 at the beginning when I started placing this, that means this one be the exact chunk boundary. And, I did not mean to place that. And then, which means we can go like that, and which means we now have the next area completely locked down. And then we can use, then once we're done with this, we can use this information to, well, make sure all of our chunks are properly dug in an actual chunk, which is going to save us a ton of time and maybe a ton of headache while we're at it as well. Let's go ahead and break this as well. We're going to be needing to head through here, and I still need to break down that as well. Okay, let's pop through here, punch through here, break all of these leaves, so that way I can actually, and then we've got, alright, so we've got 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Please just, alright. 11, 12, hold on, wait, let me make sure I had everything. Let me recount that real quick. Alright, so we had about 50, I think we had roughly 51, I think. So, like, this means that should have been 10. Let me make sure. That, yep, okay. So if we place down all the way to 41, that'll be 10. And then that is, and this means that is 12. This is going to be 13. Let's break this log. So 13, 14, 15, and then 16. This means that this and this are the next chunks we are looking for. Just like this. We build it up higher to make it prominent and be seen by literally the entire world around it. And can these pigs please pigs, just don't do that. Wasting all of my pickaxe's durability whenever I could use that to mine these. And I think the next thing I could have used dirt and just pillared up use the dirt for pillars, but I wanted it to be way easier, so I used cobblestone, and that feels way more abrupt as compared to. Alright, that feels way more abrupt, to be honest, which is why I'm gonna do that instead. Alright. Alright, and chunk boundary. Right there, that is the chunk boundary. And right there is the last piece of the chunk boundary for the chunk. And then we can break the rest of this real quick. And then after that, we'll then have our rough chunk boundary. Which, by the way, I was really sure that was in fact a proper 2 chunks, but I just wanted to like confirm. It's better to have a confirmation than just to be making things up on the fly. 'Cause like anything, all right, then we have this, which means this right here should be the next part of the next boundary, just like that. Oh, hey, let me up the block. Oh my gosh. Would like to see exactly where I'm aligned. I see exactly where I'm aligned here. I'm slightly off, but that's okay. Slightly off, but that's okay, that happens. Alright, so, which means we should be able to do this. Which means we just need to place down 50. Which means we just need to go ahead and go like this. Right, and then with this we can punch the rest of this, get this done. Then, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Which means, does that align with our knowledge of the chunk boundary? Barely. No, it does not. Which means, like, which as you can see, should now have fully aligned chunks after I break these real quick. This is broken, and which after we break the rest of this here, we will. Hey, all right, and now we're gonna build up further. Alright, let's go ahead and use this as a way to, well, head over through here and this. Then the next bit of chunks we need to, well, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15, which means we can then, I think if I go along up here, I should be able to see the other one, which is aligned like right there, which has aligned exactly right there, which means we have this all fully, like, just like that. This is just marking out the entire chunk perimeter. If we want, and then we're probably, and then after we're done, we're gonna, and then the next one we're gonna like fully take all of this. No, we're gonna take all of this that we have here, and then we're gonna use this to, well, which means that, like, how accurate is this, like, to the actual chunk border was my prediction. I was nearly spot on. That's actually for a guesstimate, that was actually really good. I don't usually guess things much, but But sometimes you just don't doubt. Sometimes you just end up doubting yourself, which is okay. It's okay to not always to have all the confidence in the world, but like all right, and that should be the last marker, and then the last marker will be bad. Let me up this stupid. My gosh. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build all the way up just like this. There we go. Now we have a 3x3 chunk board boundary that is all going to be dedicated to be, well, it's all gonna be ripped out of the ground. Well, this is gonna be a giant hole. So, so yeah, InfDev projects like this are quite common actually, last I checked. Like, they're really fun to dig. Like, digging these holes are really fun. So, now that we have this all out of the way, next we'll then get rid of all of the center pillars throughout here. And on the outskirts, we'll place some cloth. We'll then using these as a guide. We'll then dig out the entire perimeter, because these are the exact edge of the chunk. This cobblestone here is legitimately the exact edge of the chunk. It's not the beginning. It's literally it's not the edge. It's not like outside of the chunk. It's inside the chunk. Which means that once we're done with this, we will have a full 3x3x3 chunk area, with this being the main center. And an idea what I could do and then once I get all that, we'll then be able to properly dig out this chunk. And I'm going to, well, make a backup from here. So I hope you all have enjoyed about me yapping and doing all this and all of this, and as well I hope all of your days go really well, and please do be safe, and I'll see you all whenever I go to, well, just start digging up the rest of this hole. Take care. Peace.